So it's now come to our attention that the worst kept secret in F1 history has finally been revealed. It'll be Guan Yu Zhou taking the final seat in the F122 calendar, and as with almost everything done in F1, has led to a spark of debate online over if cash is king. And has Giovinazzi been done rotten? Should Piastri have gone the seat over Zhou? That's to be discussed here. Well, I'm just gonna give the disclaimer. This is my opinion. Do not attack me. We are all entitled to our opinions. Do not attack me. This is a warning for the Italian fans because I am not going to be on. Sorry, I love Italian Jesus, but I have to be fucking rude. So let's start with the elephant in the room. How much did money influence Zhou's seat? It's obvious that his sponsors have apparently paid in the region of 25 to 30 million euros to Alfa Romeo for his seat, which has led to people thinking that Zhou is just another paid driver. Well, yeah, money does clearly have an influence. We have to remember, loads of drivers have got into F1 because of money. Perez has massive sponsors coming in, and he's one of the most beloved. But if anyone actually, does watch F2, you know that Zhou is highly skilled. This is his third year, I believe, if I'm right, in F2. And at the moment, he's second championship behind Piastri. Looking like Piastri will win it. There's only two proper rounds left. And I can't remember, was it Monza the last F2 race? It's been way too long for an F2 race, let's be fucking realistic. But yeah, it looks like Piastri will win. But Zhou clearly talented. He's won 3 races so far this year. He won a couple back in 2020. And, even in Fiat Series, he's performed well. Yes, I don't know. He's a good driver, let's just say. Now, I think the more bigger thing, rather than money, which is going to be an influence for Zhou's seat, commercial viability for him. As was highly advertised when he got announced, was that he was China's first full-time F1 driver. And the market in China is massive. They F1 have signed on the Shanghai circuit until 2025, and having Zhou as a Chinese driver is going to bring big money to not only Alfa Romeo but F1 in a whole. So that probably was a bigger influence to him. And with Giovinazzi, of course, Italian fans are going to be disappointed he's lost his seat, but Italian fans will not be leaving F1 just because Giovinazzi is no longer in F1. Folks who are clearly more invested into Ferrari than they are to Giovinazzi. Italians in recent years have not had good history in F1. It's been the teams that have been Italy's big driving point over the drivers. Like, I can't even remember the last Fisichella, I believe, was the last Italian driver before, and he hasn't been in F1 in years. Of course, he drove Ferrari, and that did not go too well for him in 2009. But yeah, this is probably the second point. Now is going to be like why I think Giovinazzi didn't deserve to get his contract renewed with Alfa Romeo. But just, we all love it. Italian Jesus. I think, has he proved he deserves it? Of course, Alfa Romeo have kind of fucked him over in the strategies. Mainly in Mexico, they absolutely fucking shafted a double points finish for the team. But he's been in F1 for full-time 3 years. He's on a couple runs for Sauber here and there. But he was mainly in F1 as the Ferrari reserve driver, and he was in F1 believed to get the seat after Vettel goes. Leclerc got it over Raikkonen. It was Giovinazzi supposed to be after Vettel, and then it's Sainz who gets the seat over him. And I highly doubt he'll be the one next in line for it. It's going to be Mick Schumacher next in line for Ferrari whenever Leclerc or Sainz leave. I don't think it's going to happen for years, but when it happens, it's more than likely going to go to Schumacher over Giovinazzi. And of course now with this year that Ferrari don't have a control over a seat over Alfa Romeo, it's up to Alfa Romeo who got that second seat, not Ferrari. So Giovinazzi had to prove himself to Alfa Romeo, not Ferrari, which that's going to be way harder to do. And clearly Alfa Romeo, with the 2022 season being new regulations, new era, they're the only team to actually do a full lineup change, which is good. They were forced to do anyway with Kimi retiring. They went for Bottas, and I think Alfa Romeo just wanted complete new faces. They had the same lineup for 3 years. It worked mainly, but it wasn't going to work long term with Giovinazzi, and I think that's probably the biggest influence for Giovinazzi losing the seat, is that Alfa Romeo never really had control of putting him in that seat. It was Ferrari, and without that Ferrari control and Alfa Romeo being free to choose that seat, I think they just went for a new approach. And now I think what I think is the main thing is, should have been Piastri getting the seat. He's on course to win the F2 championship a year after winning a feat only done by Leclerc and Russell. Of course, they both straight away gone to F1, linked to massive teams. Of course, big thing with Zhou and Piastri, they're both Alpine Academy drivers. Of course, now Piastri has that Alpine reserve seat for next year, which probably seem more likely to get bumped up into the Alpine seat whenever Alonso retires, whether that be for 2023, 2024. I don't know how long Alonso's going to go for. Is Fernando. He just doesn't give a fuck. Let's be realistic here. He'll stay as long as he fucking wants to piss off people. But he's clearly more talented than Zhou. That's indisputable. Piastri is more talented, and probably a big factor into him not getting the seat was probably the money viability. The only other possibility was the experience. Piastri's 19, I believe. Zhou has a bit more experience. I think he's 22. I can't be right, but he does have more experience. And yeah, I think he'd be too. Alfa Romeo probably, knowing they're going for a full lineup change, probably want someone who had more years in junior. It's a weird topic. Because Piastri clearly highly skilled. He's under the wing of Mark Webber. You know you got a good driver when you got Mark Webber under the wing of someone. But I think it will possibly benefit Piastri more being the reserve driver for Alpine, if his ultimate goal is to be with Alpine over Zhou, because as we saw with Sainz, when he went from Toro Rosso to Renault, he kind of got fizzled out of the Red Bull Academy, and a captain for other drivers. There's another driver I'm trying to think of that had the same case. They were part of another academy, went to another team, kind of got fizzled out. Someone commented if you remember, I just can't. But yeah, that is my 2 cents on the Guan Yu Zhou getting the Alfa Romeo seat over Antonio Giovinazzi and Oscar Piastri. And feel free to insult me for my opinions. FYI, I do not speak Italian, so if any Italian fans are out there to Tifosi, I will not understand you, sorry. But anyway, if you just can like the video and